Hello and welcome to Atomic Facepalm. This is Chris.
And I'm Bree.
And this is Atomic Facepalm Bi-Weekly, episode 25. Bi-weekly because we missed the episode last week because we're terrible people.
Slackers.
Well, we did show notes for last week.
Yes.
Episode 25.
Go.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. We really do appreciate it, especially after our lapse of an episode last week, which we do apologize for. But hey, life happens, man. Life happens. So if you want to leave a comment, that would be spectacular. You could also hit subscribe, which would also be awesome. We would appreciate it.
And this is available in podcast form. There's a link down below if you're watching on YouTube to subscribe to the podcast in case that's if you've been that way.
Yeah, man, if that's your strawberry jam, you can listen to us in the car and hear me rant about nothing, as I am wont to do. So, jumping into episode 25, we're going to go to a certain segment, a loving segment, that I like to call Give Me Games or Give Me Death, but very preferably the games.
Are you asking what games I played this week?
Yeah,
or
I guess.
In the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, actually, that's true. 2-week gap here. Yes.
I played so many games.
Do you want to do the thing where I go back and talk about it now, even though I just asked you?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah.
Do you want me to do it? I'm fine talking about the games I've played.
Yeah, why don't you lead off and we'll go from there.
Because I actually have played a lot of games. I'll run through them real quick. I played some more Pyre. I'm getting better at that. It's I would like to finish it this week. I really would. Pyre, I played that. I also played Tacoma. Played a few hours of that. It's pretty awesome. I played lots and lots of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch.
Yep.
Played some Breath of the Wild Zelda on the Switch. I think that might be it.
Good little roundup there.
Yeah. So maybe I'll start with Pyre.
So I'd like to talk about Pyre.
Some more.
I would.
We talked about it last time. I almost said last week, but
last time
we talked about Pyre. I'm definitely getting better at it. I still struggle with this game. It's not easy for me. I think that you have a lot. You're like 9 and 0 or 0 and 9. How does that go?
Yeah, and I want to talk about that. So are you sensitive to spoilers right now? Do you want me to go in? So I feel like I really want to talk about a part in the game that happens presumably mid-game, but I don't know if you want to, or if anyone else out there wants to have that spoiled. I can be light on the detail.
And I know that there's been some reviews where they have spoiled something that changes the game mid-game.
Yeah.
I have not come across anything that made me feel like it's changed the game mid-game.
Okay, so I will try and keep this light. I will talk about it. I will avoid details. Here's what I will say. There is a very specific mid-game thing that happens.
And it just, from what I read, it changes the game completely. Is that?
No, I don't think it
changes the game a lot?
It opens up the game.
Okay.
It goes from being a game on rails with a very tight story to suddenly open world with pretty much no story. And I think I'm starting to see why people maybe don't like that. Because I thought the whole game was going to be this tight narrative twist. And you're going to go from start to finish. It doesn't do that.
Okay.
So I was like, Jesus, I'm 10 hours into this game, and we're about to beat it. It's like, am I really that good at it? I can't be. Like, there's no way. And no, the answer is I'm not. Here's the other thing. The game gets considerably more difficult when you hit the mid-game. Enough that, like I said, I went 9-0 up until the mid-game point. And the second game I played after... Sorry, I'm drinking beer here. It makes me want to burp. So after that... so after I played the second game, I kind of got my ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I've discovered there are some very overpowered items you can put on your guys that the computer starts using. So I won't go into too much detail, but I will say there's a certain item that you get from the start that raises your Pyre by 35 points. And then you start using it, and you're like, man, this makes it really easy to beat the bad guys. But then they use it against you, and you're like, fuck, you kind of have to counteract that, otherwise it's too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they start getting trinkets and stuff that boosts them too. The people I lost against were the flying crones or harpies, I believe they are.
Once I got the flying lady with her skill, I can't play a game without her. That's the one character I feel like I'm really good at. I'm really good at banishing people with her because her attack feels, I don't know.
So she charges up, and then she shoots forward. I didn't realize you could hurt people doing that. I thought you just flew over people.
No, that's how you kill people. So I loaded her up with a trinket that is like, gives her benefit every time she kills somebody, and I was just doing really well with her. I do really well with Rookie and the little worm guy.
Rookie is the dog.
Yeah, Rookie's the dog, and then the little worm guy is really awesome as well. He has a pretty good attack, but I'm not as good at controlling it as I am with her.
He has a weird back attack. Mm-hmm. It's like you have to get in front of the enemy, and you shoot backwards, and it leaves a trail, like a detonation trail. Kind of like, not Dig Dug. There's another game, Bomberman, where you can like loop your bombs, and they make like big explosions after you walk past them. It's kind of like that, sort of. So, again, all this stuff is great. I think the problem, and I'm starting to understand it, is you just get to a point where there's no story anymore, and all you're doing is playing the sports game. So if you're in this thing, and you're like, yeah, sports game's okay, but I love this story, you hit this middle part, and you're like, well, shit, now there's really not much story, and I'm just playing this football game or whatever metaphor you want to put there.
Basketball, soccer, hockey.
Yeah. Over and over and over and over and over. It's very repetitive. So, yeah, maybe
it sounds like you're changing your opinion kind of.
I am. And I'm bummed because I really wanted just more of what was going on.
I really like the characters a lot, and above and beyond everything else, the sound and art in this game, just like, I want to squeeze it. There's a part where the minstrel plays a really long song, and I was just like, this is the best song I've ever heard.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's an original song, sang a cappella.
It was so good.
It's amazing.
So I definitely, even if you don't like the game, I think the soundtrack is worth it. Is actually, and I'm very like taking a huge stance on Nier Automata being my favoriteest sound of the year. But that song, once you get to that minstrel song, I'm like, oof. They had a few more songs like this, then it would surpass Nier no problem.
I think it's been a good year for sound design in general. I think we mentioned that whenever we did the last episode. But I really, I will say that still goes up and up. Like this game, the quality is still there. My concern now, I like the sports game aspect of it. I'm fine with that. But again, it's jarring to go from this mostly story-driven thing where I played 10 hours and I fought 9 matches. So that's roughly a match and a half an hour, I guess, if you're doing that right, a little bit less. But then all of a sudden you're just match after match after match after match. And you can still like find trinkets and stuff. And there's some interesting little twists and dynamics that you can't do early on. But it becomes literally fantasy football, where there's a list. You can see how all of the people you fought are doing in the standings. It feels like putting together a fantasy football roster and seeing how the rest of the league is doing. And you're competing against them. Okay, it's fine. But, yeah, I'll stop there because I'm going to get into major spoilers.
I think these are pretty light. I mean, light to medium spoilers already. You're pretty
I'll stop
deep
there.
in that territory.
But I still like the game. I'm just, you're right. It's not, like I was loving the game, and now I'm like, oh, it's okay.
I love aspects of this game. I didn't love this game from the start, and I think if once I hit that part that you're talking about, I'm probably not going to like the game very much at all.
I'm concerned because it is at the point where I don't necessarily want to play it that much. It really was like, oh man, maybe they should have just made a 10-hour game and just ended it there.
And then giving like a free mode or something.
Yeah.
Like once you finish the story mode, you unlock global mode or something. I don't know.
I have a feeling, being a fledgling writer myself, sometimes you read out a story, or if you have a story in your head and you develop it, and it seems like it's a long, complex, drawn out story, but then you get it onto the paper or onto the screen, you realize, oh, it's actually kind of not that long. And it becomes a short story, and that's okay. And I think they missed an opportunity here. I think you're absolutely right. You finish up the story, and you'll see what I mean. Everyone will, and people, if you've played the game before, you will see exactly where I think they meant to end it and just didn't.
Yeah, no, I get you. But it's still a good game.
It's good. It is good. It will not contend for Game of the Year for me.
No, I knew that right away.
I didn't. I thought it might be up there.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I thought it might. When I first, because again, the music is amazing, very interesting dialogue, a very unique world with
Unique characters, I think, is really cool. I really like some of those characters. Like, I actually want like a shirt even with like, what's her name? The demon lady?
Yeah, I always forget her name.
Jodriel?
Jody. It's Jody for sure. Jodadriel.
Yeah, something like that.
Jodadriel, I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
Awesome.
She was my favorite character.
By far. I also really like who the girl, the moon touch girl who I named Faye.
Zay for me.
Faye. That makes sense. She's
Yeah.
so fairy-like. Anyways, I like her a lot too. So that's too bad. I also took a dip into Tacoma, which I did really enjoy. It's kind of an adventure game by the Fulbright. They did Gone Home. You go onto a spaceship that's been, you don't know what's happened there, or they don't tell you up front, but you're like investigating what happened there. And in the game, the space station is always kind of recording what's happening in the space station. And so you're going through you'll wander into a room and it'll say, hey, we have an alternate reality kind of recording here, and you load it in, and then you see like the shapes of the people, and they're walking around and going through their conversation, and you can pause and rewind and move around. And what's kind of cool about the recordings is sometimes it encompasses several rooms. So you'll see you'll get that little recording, like playing a video line on the bottom of your screen, and you can go to different points and then go into another room, and there's a completely different thing kind of happening in there. And you've got to explore the space and unlock kind of what's going on. And you can also access, each person has kind of a virtual desktop that's always in front of them, and so sometimes you can see that they've been chatting with people or check their email. So not only do you explore what they're doing in physical space, you explore kind of their computer at the same time, and you kind of are unlocking what's happened in different places of the ship.
From watching over your shoulder, I thought it maybe should have been a VR game.
I don't know. It feels like it should be a VR game, especially like the first thing you come into the ship and it's like, place your hand here. And for a moment I was like, is this a VR game? But I don't think it's a VR game at all. It would have been really cool as a VR game because you're not really doing a lot. I guess how would you move around? Movement is always the issue.
They probably have to go like the mages of
or Robo Recall kind of teleport from place to place. But it's just an interesting concept of how I haven't gotten far enough to understand what actually happened on the ship, but it's very intriguing. It's interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see that it's getting really good reviews everywhere. Like I think it's got like 9 out of 10 in general.
So not only a good year for sound design, but from what you're describing, also a good year for very story-driven and deep thought games.
It reminds me a lot of Edith Finch. It's like somebody took Edith Finch and they mashed it with Prey, because in Prey you're doing that same exact thing where you're coming onto a spaceship and kind of dissecting what happened there, and it's this really kind of strange feeling where you're never like talking with people or interacting with people, you're just trying to dissect what's gone on.
Yeah. That sounds right up my alley too. I really do appreciate good writing. For whatever reason, I haven't I haven't read like a full novel in probably a couple of years.
Yeah.
And
it's such a slacker now with novels. I
know, but I feel like it's just maybe we're kind of evolving to the point where we really are just getting used to digital medium.
Or maybe I'm evolving my attention span to be 2 seconds long and I can't refresh my feed and see the newest little, I would not say that my...
Novels don't run out of batteries, though.
They don't. When I go to the beach or I'm stuck on an airplane, I read, and I devour a book, but then I get home and it's like, I don't know.
I mean,
terrible.
The It novel is great, but it doesn't have 2 detachable controllers that you can play with 2 players.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's
so Prey, Tacoma, and then I'd also like to mention that Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice came out on Tuesday, which is also
$30 on Steam,
Yep.
released for PS4 and PC.
Yep.
Great. I would actually like to jump in and play this game.
I know.
I kind of wish I had played this before Pyre, but such as it is.
Mm-hmm. It's gotten some controversy on the internet about some save file things. So apparently something pops up in the game where it says, if you die too many times, then it's going to permanently delete your save file.
Really?
Now, whether that's actually true or not is up to debate. I haven't played it and I don't know, but it is an unreliable narrator.
That feels like they're fucking with you. I like that. It's like they're breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea, if you're not familiar with Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, is like I said, you're the most unreliable narrator there is. You're actually insane.
You're psychotic.
Yep.
And it's supposed to be about that point of view, being a
awesome.
psychotic person.
So
I caught wind of this on Twitter last week when it released, and everybody was like, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. And I'm like, do you not remember Mario World? You die 3 times, you're done.
Do you not remember Metal Gear Solid 2? Where like they literally told you to turn off the console? That was the thing. So you're playing as Raiden near the end of the game, and the Fate Colonel comes on and he goes, Raiden, just turn off the console. Turn it off. This is the end of the game. Go on, turn it off. And people did that shit, and you went back like hours. So this is not unprecedented.
No, and so whichever way the game goes, whether it's an unreliable, and I don't know, I started to see hints of it and more of it and people pulling it apart, and I'm like, I want to experience that in the game. But whichever way it is, I think that's awesome.
I love that shit. I really do.
Do something different, do something cool. I might complain when I'm playing the game, and maybe in 2 weeks from now, this will be the thing that I'm fucking bitching about. But it's cool. That was kind of their mission with this game, was to take a larger studio, go smaller, make a smaller game, make a cheaper game, and have the ability to experiment with it.
Yeah.
And I agree with that 129%.
God, if I had the time here, I'd look this up. There was a game a long time ago. It was like one of the first alternate reality games, and there was a part where they simulated the blue screen of death on your computer, and that was pretty harsh. Like, it's not going to that route. But again, I kind of like how they'll screw with you a little bit. And for a game like this, that feels appropriate.
It feels appropriate. And I think, I don't know, you're playing a game because you want an immersive storytelling experience. And that's what they're giving. I wouldn't want to play a game that's going to ruin my computer or delete my hard drive. I think that's going too far. But to just kind of fuck with my mind in the moment, why not? I mean, regular old, very plain games fuck with you all the time, but suddenly there's a boss that's really hard, or you have to go and redo everything to get something. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what you want.
I really do want to. I feel like Metal Gear Solid 2, I'm going to reference this again because it really was a lot of this at the end of that game. You'd be playing along, and the game over screen would just pop on the screen, and it'd be like, game over, continue. But it wasn't really game over. You just keep going, and eventually you go away. There was a part where so they break the fourth wall completely, and Snake just shows up out of nowhere, teleports in. Raiden's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm fine, let's go. He's like, you don't have any like clips in your gun. He's like, it's okay, infinite ammo. And he points to like his headband, because in the first one you could unlock a headband that give you infinite ammo, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? It was so weird, but I like that. It's like a David Lynch kind of like approach to it, where he screws with you, and I thought that was totally cool. And if this is doing that to a certain, it makes me want to play it more, to be honest with you.
So I think that's interesting, and I'm really looking forward to playing it, and I've tried to avoid reviews and spoilers. I think for the most part it's getting good reviews, but really I have not. Until I finish a game and really develop my own idea about it, I usually try to avoid.
Yes.
Besides basic numbers out on there, like averages, I kind of stay away from that.
This is a game that had a lot of heart and soul put into it. It was just, the actress was just part of the development team. And she became an actress. It's what they call a AAA indie title. So it's like, stuff you'd expect from an indie game, like a weird story, a lot of creative freedom, but with a big budget. And cool things like there's no graphical interface at all, 0. It's just it's just graphics on the screen.
I actually didn't know that part.
Yep. So I'm like, man, I just want to kind of finish up Pyre now, because I feel like if I start playing that game, I'm just gonna not play Pyre anymore.
That was my dip into Tacoma. I was starting to be like, ooh, I better back out of this, because I'm gonna start. It was starting to get really good. You're starting to unlock things.
I want to play Hollow Knight so bad. I want to play it so bad.
So I did update my Hollow Knight on Steam, but I'm really waiting for the Switch title for some reason. I feel like it'll be a fresh start for me, but honestly, I should just... No, I need to focus on the games that I have on my plate.
I know. I will get utterly consumed, because that's what happened to me, and I would just not play anything else, and which right now is bad, because other games that are coming out. So next week, Ruiner is going to get what presumably will be a release date. They didn't specify.
They said it was a release date.
They did?
Somebody in the comments, so they posted on Twitter, like, next week something big is coming, and then people were like, do you mean the game's coming out or a release date? And it's a release date. So they confirmed that in the comments. They are also really good at social media. They had some really funny stuff going back and forth in there. That was awesome.
Yes, so that's going to be out. Nidhogg 2 is out now, if you want to go that route. And it's like a party game, but still. And
then what is Nidhogg out for? Just Steam?
No, it's out for PS4 and PC.
No.
Both.
PS4?
PS4 is going strong here.
I actually would say I would get that on PS4 before I'd buy it on Steam.
Yeah, especially with ours. We have. Yeah. I don't know if it's 4K native, but just having the upscaling is nice.
It's a couch game.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then we have Mages of Mystralia coming out in the PS4 at the end of this month, I believe.
I thought that was already out for some reason.
I was looking at release dates, so I could be wrong there. Could look it up real quick. I'm pretty sure it's not out yet.
It's not a big deal.
But that's if it's not out yet, then or if it is out yet, still it's a game that's there. Because we're entering that part of the season where it's just kind of madness.
Yeah, definitely. So we actually played a lot of Mario Kart, and I have to say I'm liking it a lot.
It's a great game.
It's still like it looks so much better on the Switch. I know that it's just Mario Kart 8 again with some different maps. I actually should have looked up a comparison of what actually is completely different.
Yeah.
But just like it's one of those games like the entire family comes together. We're all working on it as a community trying to unlock, so somebody tried this map and they got the 3 stars there and then they hand out the controller and someone else is doing it or playing together. That is why I love Nintendo. Like I know that we have a PlayStation sitting out there, but Nintendo is just so good at that like family game thing that I just...
So we spent a good part of the last Sunday and Saturday night, maybe, if I remember right.
I feel like we played a lot of...
We've put a lot of hours between the 4 of us that are in this family, in this household. And we even got to the point where I started looking at speedruns so we could like develop new strategies. And so it's fun. Again, this is stuff that you can really have fun with your kids of all ages. You can make it hard, but it's not hard to begin with.
I honestly say my kids are better at Mario Kart than I am.
Yeah.
I think they're better.
I'm
not very good at Mario Kart, but it is. I don't know. I don't like any other racing game really. Blur is kind of okay.
So Blur was basically just Mario Kart with realistic graphics.
There was another racing game, I think it was like PlayStation, where you were supposed to crash. Like the point of the game was like there was one mode in
Burnout Paradise.
Yeah. I actually like Burnout, maybe just the first one. I don't think I played any follow-ups to it. But that game, again, was another racing game where I was like, okay, that's cool.
I love the original Twisted Metal series that came out for the first PlayStation 1. Twisted Metal 1, Twisted Metal 2 were really, really cool. Twisted Metal Black came out for the PS2, which I did not own, but I played it at friends' houses, and that was amazing. So for me, it's got to be combat racing. There's no interest to me just to race, pure racing.
Gran Turismo is just not for me. I get it. Some people do the whole setup, and it's like racing a car.
If you have the whole setup, it's awesome, but that's a huge investment.
It is, but I'm not good enough at racing games. Nope. I feel like I'm okay at driving a car. It's like when I lose the feedback of the car, I am kind of a terrible driver.
It's hard. I mean, if you're professional racing, is actually a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of laughed off. You're on NASCAR, a bunch of whatever. But I remember we just went go-kart racing. Even those little go-karts, no power steering, your arms get tired, and it's like, I don't know.
My brain got shook.
It's skill.
My brain hurt the next day because it was all like...
You're getting rattled a lot, and it's tough. Yeah. But no, combat stuff like that, I do enjoy.
Yeah, that kind of arcadey, combat-y game, which I think Mario Kart is the king of. So we've really been enjoying that. We finally got another Pro Controller for the...
Yeah, because we had 3-player only. And you also got these cool little things. So the Switch, right, we showed it on the last show. They're really tiny.
Actually, I'm going to go get that while you talk about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, because I can't get out.
I'll do the play-by-play while you're over there. And Bree jumps out of the gate. She's down. She's dodging a chair. She's dodging a coffee table. She's over the dog. She's open, wide open. She has her hands on the controller. She looks. She jukes. She looks left. She goes right.
I don't know where the other controller bits are. Oh, they're in the little case. Okay.
And she's free. Wide open end zone. Touchdown, Bree. Yeah, here we go. So we have, it looks just like a little empty controller, basically. It's like a skeleton. And then you put in the actual Switch controller, and it's not perfect, but it's a lot more comfortable.
So 2 of these were $10 on Amazon, which I'd say is worth it. But if there is a better version of this, or more expensive, more durable, because the top things are not so great.
How much were these again?
$10 for
$10. Okay, sorry, I was drinking a beer. When I drink beer, apparently it's
so it clicks into there, and this is, if you're going to use these controllers by themselves in any capacity, this is needed, except for travel.
I don't want to say it's not even optional, honestly.
It isn't. I feel like I wish they had sent something like this with it.
Yeah.
And I'll look out for another. That's the first one I found on Amazon. I was like, yeah, $10, let's try it. But if there's a better, more durable version, I would absolutely buy it.
Yeah, I don't understand why Nintendo didn't just make their own official one like that.
Well, they kind of, they give you the one where you connect the two together.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
And then they give you the ones that I think are perfect for travel. Like, I would just always keep them in the travel case in case you...
Yeah. It still doesn't fix the problem having a joystick in the middle of the orange part, but it's much, much better.
It's night and day.
Yeah.
So that made Mario Kart a lot funner for all of us to play over the weekend. Again, playing Zelda on the go is really awesome. I was at the DMV a couple days ago, and it was amazing. It was like I was there for, 20, 30 minutes waiting, and it was like nothing.
Yeah.
Because Zelda, and it's fun.
Yeah, and again, sounds like good battery life, which is a big plus.
Yeah, I've not had this be an issue with me yet for battery life at all.
Yep.
But I usually keep it in the dock or something and keep it charged, so that's not... Oh, you know what else I played? Albion Online.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But didn't the servers go down or something, so it was, like, not playable for a night?
I think they've been having... So Albion Online is kind of an MMO, really focused on crafting and controlling territories and that PvP kind of thing. Like, if you die in a PvP area, you drop everything. But they just released, 3 weeks ago, maybe more like a month ago. And I have family members that play, so it's kind of fun to play with them. But I just cannot dedicate my life to MMO again. Like, getting into that at all. I've reached a limit with what I can do with MMOs. And besides World of Warcraft, I don't think I could ever really get into an MMO at that level. Of like what is really required. Like, I know that you can log in a little here, a little there, but really if you're going to play a game like that, you need to be on 3 times a week.
That's honestly why I kind of stopped playing Overwatch. Great game, one of the best games I played in a long time, but you have to stay committed to that game. There's too many changes. The meta changes too often. It's just, and if you just jump in, it's just you just kind of get your ass kicked, even in just free for all. So it's like I don't know. It's too much.
Yeah. In general, though, I think it's a cute little game. They've definitely... I played it during...
Beta?
And yeah, it was like that pre-release thing that they're doing. So, I played it a bit then, and it has gotten extremely better. It's way, way better. They have one server, and I think they've been having some DDoS attacks, bringing the server down, which is kind of crappy. It's kind of a cool concept, so instead of doing, like, when you do things like chop wood or do that, that's what you get experience for. So as you do things, you get better at that certain thing. So if you're cutting wood all the time and making wood stuff, you get points unlocked in making wood stuff. It's kind of cool. And it's
like a Stardew Valley approach.
It's very focused on crafting right from the start. Like, that's basically your first few quests are crafting, and if you're killing something, it's so that you can skin it. And then they have... well, it's leather working.
Hey.
And then what you choose for a weapon determines kind of your class. So as you, if you do bows, then your weapon has a skill attached to it. And so the skills come from the weapons.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting.
That's a cool approach.
No, it's a good game. It's just I can't do the MMO thing again. I went down that road for too long, and I just can't. It's just too much.
Yeah. The background information here, like your mom and her partner are like just invested. I think Melissa more than your mom, and it's like it's like a second job or a full-time job. Honestly, if you're getting that much into it, seemingly.
It can be. I mean, that's kind of any game like that can be that way.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and if once you add into the mix, like dealing with a guild or managing a guild, I can't even get on that level. I've never done that before. Like, I've never been an officer in a guild. I always see that stuff, like the guild drama stuff, and I'm like, fuck, no.
Yep, it sucks.
It sucks.
And it's always going to be there.
It's always going to be there, no matter what guild you choose, no matter how cool they say they are.
So this guild, I believe, the one that your mom is involved in, is called the Anti-Drama Guild, I believe, or something like that.
I'm not going to name names here.
Oh, we don't want to name names?
I'm not gonna. No, it's they just they say that's not the name of it, but they say that they don't have drama.
Okay. Yeah, that's impossible. I was part of a TF2 clan forever ago, which is how I got into the games press industry, and that was a 10-person team, and there was more drama in there than I could ever imagined. So I'm thinking about that times, I don't know, 1,000. Fuck that. Sorry. Nope. No thanks.
Yeah.
So, things we're looking forward to. I'm just going to throw this out here ad hoc. We've got PAX coming up
I'm so looking forward to PAX. Like, I can't even, like...
I'm starting to get vibrating with excitement. It's so good. And we actually have a hotel, as opposed to staying like 45 minutes away, which just opens up a whole
crappy hotel or a friend's house or something. So this time we just got a hotel downtown because I'd rather pay $50 more a night and not deal with Uber and stress and taking an Uber to the wrong side of Seattle instead of
getting into an Uber with
articulate that you want to go south of Seattle and not north of Seattle for.
That was like a $102 Uber ride.
That was a mistake. It was a huge mistake.
So yeah, looking forward to that immensely. The Indie Mega Booth released all their games. There's like literally hundreds, so I'm not going to go through that.
I'm not going to go through that, but I'm really looking forward to, at the moment, is playing Tunic, which was that little game with a little tiny fox and a sword.
That looks amazing.
It looks like a little teeny Zelda, old school Zelda, not current Breath of the Wild Zelda, but just, I'm so excited for that. I actually haven't checked if Ooblets is there. That is another game I'm just like so keyed up about.
Can we take bets on whether or not Pit People will be there again? If you want to do like an over-under, leave a comment if you want to get some cash bet going on the side.
Pit People will be there.
You think so?
The same booth and
I'm gonna say they're not. I'm gonna say Pit People will not be there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't know if that'd be the over or under, but that's gonna be my bet.
I don't know what the over-under thing even is.
I don't really either. I hear it thrown around. Like I presume you go under the bet and then you follow back. So the It movie is coming out.
Okay.
I'm very excited to see that. Cautiously optimistic. Special shout out here to the Game of Thrones show.
Actually, you said Throne just a minute ago, and I was like, I'm gonna diverge into Game of Thrones. Like, this season has just. I know that there's some nitpicky stuff that you can say about like, you can't teleport around like that or whatever. I don't give a fuck. This has been the best season. It is. I finally get to I've been waiting like 10 years. Like I realize at this point it's 10 years that I've been waiting to see certain things happen for characters that I love more than anything.
Yep.
If you're not watching games, I mean, who isn't watching games?
That's what you're saying. Like random people you would never think would have any interest in a fantasy soft porn show are very much into it.
Yeah.
And I would still say for me the first season is my favorite because of memories. It was the first time I was introduced to the whole universe and it holds a special place. But this is damn near tied with that. Because I feel like this is like the opposite of the first season and it's just finally semi-good things are happening. I mean good things in the sense of like good people are not just dying left and right.
I just think that it's finally like while each book resolves its own things, it's like we've been waiting for the resolution of certain, things for so long that it's finally like I can just breathe better. Just like, okay. Though there's no confirmation on what actually is book stuff versus what's... Like, I really do want to know what's going to happen in the books themselves, because I think what
we're figuring out, we talked about this off mic, is... They're transplanting a lot of characters. I feel like you can kind of figure it out, judging by the dialogue quality and by what's happening. But again, you kind of don't know, and I almost appreciate that at this point, because when I was watching the second season and third season, I was overly critical and frustrated because they diverged so badly.
There's these moments that you fall in love with in the book. Like, there's this moment where Renly is eating a peach during this kind of meetup or something that I think is so critical to just characterizing Renly. That, like, when that wasn't in the show, I was angry. I'm still angry about it. It's like, Renly and the peach was just perfect. It was like, you don't even need to do anything but give the man a fucking peach.
Yep.
And have him eat it during a really important thing. And it was just how he was so flippant about things. I don't know.
Yep.
So, yeah, I did nitpick those early seasons. So maybe it's better this time around. But now I'm worried, will I nitpick Martin's book if we ever get it?
Yeah, we're not going to get it.
I feel really terrible about shitting on a writer for not putting out the book like when I want it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I want that book so bad that I don't know.
It was funny. I was watching a random interview between George R.R. Martin and Stephen King, and just an open forum type of thing.
That was actually really good.
It was good. And you can just see, holy shit, like they talk and behave like they write. Stephen King, if you ask him about like what did you have for breakfast this morning, he would go on for 25 minutes in excruciating detail without even batting an eyelash. But then you get George R. Martin, he's like, and he's just like, you can tell like George R. Martin is very meticulous and he takes forever. It's like Stephen King is just machine gun.
He's like, do a line of coke and write 15,000 pages and fuck it, let's see what we can pull out of it.
And at the end of that interview, George R. Martin just finally asked him, how the fuck do you write so fast?
Coke, my friend. No,
yeah.
He doesn't do that anymore.
Hard drugs. So, but no, Game of Thrones doing great. My only complaint is that they didn't complete the whole season. Bastards. So we're only getting half of it.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not into that zone of watching leaked episodes. Like,
No,
I don't know why
yeah,
I can't do that. I actually really am enjoying, because I'm used to, like, we binge watch shows, so, you know, we're going through Curb Your Enthusiasm and Arrested Development and Seinfeld, and we're binge watching those whenever we feel like it, we can watch it. But there's something kind of special about, like, it's Sunday night and it's time for this show, and we're, like, waiting all day, and...
Yeah, it's great.
I kind of like that.
Yep. And Twin Peaks has been pretty strong too, honestly.
Twin Peaks has been up and down for me, and we've been watching Preacher as well. I don't know why we're talking about TV so much.
I don't know. Because, hey, it's games, media. We're talking about media here.
Yeah.
Talking about Facepalm Media Weekly.
Sure.
All right, but that's basically where we are right now. Again, apologies for last week. It's just...
Apologies in advance for Albert.
Very good.
Almost all right voice.
And I've been painting a lot. Of Warhammer stuff. So that's also
we actually did not speak that we've been playing quite a bit. We've been painting and playing Warhammer 2, which I feel like is at least a game as opposed to TV shows where I just passively sit there.
Well, here's the thing. I mentioned this before. Warhammer 40,000 and video games are not compatible with each other. Both of those require too much time. Maybe if you just didn't have a job. Sure, I guess then. But painting takes up so much time. For me, it's very rewarding and therapeutic.
I wish I had brought my little... Because I actually painted up some new guys.
Yeah. You're coming along.
I liked them a lot.
So, yeah. And at some point here, I think I'm almost at the point where I'm ready to film. We basically both almost have fully painted armies for some factions. Kind of. But I feel like we could actually start recording stuff now.
A lot of my models have some paint on them. That's been my goal, to at least get alright, I'll just put silver on him. He'll be painted flat black, and then I'll put silver where it should be, and then he doesn't look so terrible. Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. We're playing a painting simulator game.
Yeah.
It's called Painting. Anyways, anything else you want to throw in there?
No, that's it. Okay. I have not been paying enough attention to video game news. I've been just devoured by world news and American news, so much to the point that I can't even work at work anymore. I'm just refreshing my feed on Twitter, be like, did we impeach him yet? Did we impeach him? Is this enough? Is this enough to just kick him out?
It's been a very rough last few weeks. This is not, a reality news show, but I just will say, you're right. I mean, it's been between the threat of nuclear war and Charlottesville.
Literal fucking Nazis in the street killing people.
Yeah.
No, I've been overtaken by that more than I should be. And hopefully I'm...
Well, let's put that in perspective, though. Probably that's the better thing to be concerned about in video game news.
I guess so, but at some point it becomes too much. In this day and age... I refresh the news, I'm waiting for the news to be, here, now, I need more, I need to know, whereas before, you'd kind of wait until the evening and see, what happened today, whereas now I'm like, what happened in the last 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What happened, what are the people thinking about that, what is somebody saying about that? It's really unhealthy.
I suppose. I'd still say it's better to be informed than uninformed.
Sure, but...
Overstimulated, to be sure, but,
There's probably a point where I should step back from the news.
And we'll just get back into video games.
And I'll finish Pyre and we'll review it. And we'll actually review a fucking game.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Mm-hmm. We're getting there. Damn it. It's a marathon. Anywho, thanks everybody for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Seriously, you guys are great. And you can always hit subscribe, give us a little bit of love, and you can leave a comment too. We do very much enjoy hearing from you. So, from Chris.
And Brew.
This was the Atomic Facepalm Weekly, episode 25. See y'all next time. Good luck.
Have fun.
Indeed.